So for today's craft, I'm going to be sewing up this Ellie and Mac off the shoulder romper pattern. And this one is so cute. And I think this is one of the first patterns I made when I first started sewing knits, when I first got my serger. And it came out so good. And it was just really fun and wearable. And even my husband was like surprised. He's like, "You actually made that? It looked like something you would buy." So I was super happy with this pattern. I made it 3 times. So 2 times in this exact outfit, capri with the short sleeve. And I made it in a shorts version also. This time I'm going to make it as separate. So I guess I just want to show you how I'm doing this. It's really easy because, yeah, it's pretty much just cutting it in half and hemming and doing a waistband. But I thought I would show it because I think that's a good option. I love rompers, but it's not like the easiest thing to go to the bathroom in, you know? Especially when you have kids and you take them in the bathroom with you. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm making this in a loungewear version more than going out version, and I'm doing long sleeves because I've never done the long sleeves, and I'm doing the regular length, the full length, and I've never done that version either. So it's kind of fun to, you know, try different versions. I'm using this material, and it's just a really nice stretchy knit. So it's a 4-way stretch knit. I actually have the separates on. So what I did, because Ellie and Mac has a really good tutorial. So they have a really good tutorial of this whole thing as it is in the pattern. So I'm just doing like how to make it into separates. And I'm already tried on the pants and the top. So I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. So I just have like white pants and like a sports top underneath. But this is what it looks like right before you join it. So the cuffs are not on the top or the bottom yet. And just for reference, I made a size small. I'm kind of in between the size small and extra small. I made the extra small, and if it fits a kind of too snug, the small is a little big when I make it in like a good stretchy fabric like this. So it's loungewear, so I don't really mind. But this is what the pants look like, and it's really comfy. The pockets are really nice. Option is to top stitch this, but when I have like a really stretchy fabric, I don't have the machine or a good machine to top stitch and make it look nice. And if you stretch it too much, it's gonna pop anyway, so I didn't do that part. But yeah, so the pants do not have the elastic yet. And you can either do elastic or do a drawstring. There is I think a fake drawstring on the pattern. So it's not an actual drawstring. So you could do it either way. And I find that, I'm sure I'm 5'1". I find that there's enough give on the top for me to do like a 1-inch waistband and fold it down. If you are, you know, taller, you may have to extend the pattern a little bit when you cut it. But yeah, for me, it'll be enough to be, it won't be a high-rise kind of pant. It'll be like natural waist, but I kind of prefer that for loungewear. And I kind of wish I pattern matched this a little bit better because I have more of the purple and the yellow in the front. I kind of wanted more of the pink, and the pink is in the back. I wish this was the front, but I didn't think about it. So anyways, this is a top, and I usually adjust the top portion to be a little bit shorter when I make this pattern because I have a short torso. But I decided to cut it the full length so that I have more to play with at the bottom in case I wanted to make it longer, or, you know, just gives you an option. So the top part, I tried something new. I did the clear elastic in the serging right here. That's why it looks a little bit wrinkled. I think I have to iron it a little bit. Not enough to melt it, but you know, like iron it a little bit. And I think with wear, it may stretch out a little bit, but that's why it's kind of like wrinkling up. So if you don't like that, I guess don't put the elastic, the clear elastic. Cause yeah, I don't know if I like it having this like that. Anyway, so I'm going to do a 1-inch elastic at the bottom so that it will be like this. And then for the top, it is a little long. I may cut it, but I plan to do a 1-inch twin needle hem like that. And maybe I'll leave it long because that way I have an option to tuck it in and then pull it out so it has a romper look. But yeah, so let's go do it. Okay, just for reference, this is the first one I made that is a size small in an equally stretchy type of fabric. And this is what it looks like without the elastic, and it looks fine. I think I probably didn't need to do it. And this is what the waistband looks like. It has a 1-inch, is it 1 inch? Or 5/8 inch elastic. And so the casing is like in the garment, and it's really comfortable. And yeah, I have nothing against the jumper version. I just don't like to have to take the whole thing off when I use the bathroom. And this is what the pockets look like. I did top stitch it, but see if you know what I mean about, I top stitched it, but it stretched. So, and I had to do, what is that? The triple stitch, the stretch stitch. And it kind of stretched it out while doing it. So I didn't really like that. But yeah, so this is like super comfortable, and it looks just a little more complex than your typical beginner pattern, but it was super easy. So I was really happy with it. Okay, so I just cut a piece of elastic exactly at my waistline because I kind of know where the pants are going to hit since I tried it on. And I just use this Dritz non-roll 1-inch elastic, and you can find this at Walmart usually. So I made the elastic exactly my, I guess, waist length. So I'm going to cross it over about 1 inch. I'm just going to zigzag stitch twice up and down to secure it, making sure it's not twisted at all. Okay, now we're going to just quarter the waistband and the pants waistband. So I'm just going to half it like this and mark it. The back is going to be half of this. And this is like one of my favorite ways to put on a waistband on something like loungewear, where it's more for comfort and it's super easy. Just try not to stretch the material out too much when you're doing this. And if you notice like your waistband part over here is not straight, you might want to go ahead and trim it so that it is kind of straight across. It'll just help you when you're serging on or zigzagging on the elastic. Weirdly, it is at the seam. I didn't think they were the same. Oh, you know what? Once you added the pocket, I think it ended up being the same width. Smart. Okay. Let me just double check the other side. Because the front pant piece was smaller than the back. But yeah, with the pocket, yeah, it's a perfect quarter. Okay, that makes it super easy for us. So what we're going to do, pretty much just so that you understand what I'm doing, I'm going to serge on the elastic, and then we're going to flip it over, and it kind of creates like a covered like waistband that is sewn on. It's not going to stretch, or it's not going to be all bunchy in one spot. It's going to be evenly distributed, and it's not going to twist because I really hate twisting. So that is what we're going to do. So I have the seam going that way. I want the seam to be going the same way. And if you don't have a serger, you can use the zigzag stitch. So the seam should be going towards the back. Just going to pin it at the quarter. If you have a really small waist, I can see how this may be a little difficult because you're going to have to pull and serge. So if your elastic is not stretchy enough and you have a lot of fabric, it could be harder. So to get like the 8 points, I guess you would call it, I just pull it and kind of hold the fabric where it would be and then pin. Because for me, I mean, I don't have a small waist, especially, compared to the pattern, but I'm already stretching it like all the way. So you could use a stretchier elastic this non-roll Dritz one is kind of stiff. Like I have stretchier elastic. Like this is how much it gives, you know. I think, yeah, I have a mandala elastic that I buy on Amazon, and that one is thinner and it's a lot stretchier. I like this one because it's no roll, and it kind of is just because it's really stiff. Like stiff also this way. That's why what it means, no roll, I believe. Okay, so now I'm just gonna serge the material and the elastic together, pulling as I go. So just make sure you're pulling from the front and the back so you're not pulling the needles. I've had broken needles, and you also don't want to cut the elastic. So maybe I will flip up the knife because my hem, or not the hem, but the fabric is pretty straight across. I don't really have to cut off material, and it's going to be folded in anyway, so people are not going to see that. So I'm just going to start and then pulling at the front and back. We are going to sew. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and it is not perfect. Like there's some skip seams here or loops, and I accidentally sewed right here. But you know what? It doesn't really matter that much. Although you do, I think the issue I had was I was pulling it too fast and going too fast. So I think really slow down. Like the parts that I did it slow, I think turned out way better. And the part where I was just like jamming and pulling, that's when I got into some problems. But it's going to be on the inside, and yeah, it's okay. I don't want to undo serger seams right now. So now there's two options. You can leave it as is and maybe just tack it down at the side seams, like just stitch in the ditch at maybe the side seams and maybe the quarter points. And that's one look. I did try it on, and I kind of like the look if I'm going to do it like the faux romper kind of version. But by itself, I think it looks better if you do like a stitch on the bottom, just to make it look like a waistband. And then you can also do the little faux like twill tape like bow, which I think I might do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wait on this and finish up the top. That way I can try it on together and then decide. So for the top hem, I'm just going to serge the bottom and then hem it an inch up with the twin needle. Okay, so I have it all serged up, and now I'm just gonna spritz some water. I don't know if this material is gonna iron well, but we'll just hope. So I have 1 inch. I'm just going to iron it up, checking every so often that I'm still eyeballing it correctly. And for this material, yeah, I'm going to pin it or clip it because it's not really holding well. Okay, if you've watched one of my videos before and I talk about the twin needle, you're probably like tired of hearing me talk about it, but the twin ballpoint needle is amazing if you sew with knits. So what it is just 2 needles instead of 1. Then you have 2 threads on the top, and I'm just using bobbins because I don't use this color very much. It's like a dusty rose, and I've done this before on a different one. Luckily the color kind of matches, and yeah, so as long as you have 2 threads on the top, you can have whatever bobbin color you need. I have just white. It just makes it look so much more professional, in my opinion, to have the twin needle. The only thing is that you have to sew with the right side facing up, and that can be, you know, challenging. So I have this magnetic seam gauge that helps when I have like a 1 inch kind of hem. So I can just align it like that. And because you have to sew from the top, you kind of have to feel for the serged edge. And that's why I also like to serge. I mean, it also covers it and makes it look like a cover stitch, but I always serge my knit, the ends, because you can feel it. So you want it to be that serge edge to align with this needle. And yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, you don't have to measure it. You just more have to feel for it, to me. So once you get that down, I'm going to do maybe a 3.5 inch stitch. Make sure you have your needle set at the center position. Do not have it like zigzag or something by accident, because that'll break your needles. And then we're just gonna sew. And then the stitch ends up looking like this, and this in the back. So it's like kind of hidden with the serge, and it looks like a cover stitch. Okay, I almost forgot to film this part, but I tried on, or I finished up all the cuffs on the top and the pants. And I did try to color match it a little bit better this time. And I tried it on together, and I think I want to do the waistband look. So while I still have my twin needle, I think I'll just use that instead of a straight or a zigzag stitch. And so what I'm doing, I folded over the waistband, the elastic. I clipped it at the quarter points just so I have, you know, a marking. And then I am just sewing this down, and also just being mindful of the gathers and where the gathers are. So I'm stretching it and I'm sewing it. So luckily I have my walking foot on, and that really helps, but you do not want to pull too much either way, because you're gonna ruin your needles or break your needles. So just go slow. And yeah, if you don't have the twin needle, you can use a zigzag stitch. I'm just gonna sew around, and then I'm also gonna do the little twill bow in the front. I would say the only tricky part with this is the pockets. So if you were like me and you did a little weird thing with the pocket while sewing on the elastic, you want to be mindful of having this outer part of the pocket and not have the on the outside and the liner part not showing, because if you can see, it could get sewn down like that, and that's kind of ugly. So you want to make sure it's folded in and so it lays flat, and that, you know, all the fabric is nicely pulled this way so it's not bunching up. See, because mine wants to go that way, so I have to make sure at the last moment that it's not pulling. Okay, so for the twill tape, I have this twill tape I bought on Amazon. It is about 1/2 inch. Yep, twill tape. And I cut 33 inches off just because that's how much they say in the instructions. And then now we're just going to, I'm going to fold it over maybe like 1/4 inch and another quarter. I'm just going to tack it down. You can tie a knot if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, so I sewed the two ends, and I didn't mention it, but you want it to be facing the inside. I guess it doesn't totally matter, but if you're picky, they should face the inside. And I'm just gonna have it and attach it right here. So I did change my thread to white thread, so I'm just gonna do like a little zigzag stitch right here, up and down, up and down. Okay, so here's the finished romper, but not romper. And I think it looks super cute. The waistband turned out really nice, like better than I thought it would with the twin needling. I think that I might have to do that instead of a zigzag from now on, because it just looks a lot more professional to me. Like, yeah. And the little faux tie looks really cute, and I think it added a lot. So yeah, it's super comfortable. It's such a rainy day, I feel like. I want to just wear this the rest of the day. But I think for me, I would like to just front tuck it a little bit and then leave the back side longer. But you can do like the full romper if you just tuck the whole thing in. And I'm really glad I made the shirt longer. So if you're tall, you may want to just add some length because I just did it the regular pattern, right? But you may want to add, because then you can untuck it if you want, and so it looks like the romper, like how it was designed to be. But yeah, I love this pattern. I 100% recommend doing this pattern. I've only done the short sleeve, and the long sleeve is really cute. Like I would wear this sweater out, like with some other, maybe other joggers. I don't know if I would wear this out. It's a little colorful for me, but they're so comfortable, and I will wear this at home. Like, well, it's kind of hot right now. It's still summer in Hawaii, so yeah, maybe during the winter, I would totally wear this as loungewear. It's so comfortable, and if you have like a longer, I guess, torso, you may have to add the length to the pants as well, just maybe an inch or two, so that it's not super low for you. Like, it would be okay low too, but for me, it was the perfect length because I'm short. Another reason why this pattern is especially good for beginners is because there's no binding, like neckline binding is just straight across. And this binding and these cuffs, they pretty much match up. So you don't have to like stretch it out too much. The leg ones, you did have to stretch it out a little bit, but to me, it was easier than normal t-shirt neckline binding, especially if you're just starting out. But other than that, yeah, I love this outfit, and it's so comfortable, and it was really fast to sew. I think I cut the pattern out yesterday, and I finished the whole thing today in, what time is it? 3 hours, so not bad for like a whole outfit. Okay, so I just had to try and throw this on with like some shorts to see if it would look normal with other things. And yeah, I would totally wear this sweater out. This is a really comfortable pattern. I really like how this cuff is really long. The cuff part is all the way up to here. And I think that just makes it nice and cinched in, like unlike other, you know, bulkier sweaters. I do like that it's smaller here. I think it makes your arm look a little skinnier. And that jogger pattern, or the joggers that I made, I think that's like my tried and true jogger knit pattern. Like that fits perfectly, and I don't have to buy any other stretch knit jogger pattern like ever. So it's such a versatile pattern. I love that you can do the separates. It was super easy to do the separates. Yeah, totally recommend this pattern to anyone for winter, summer, and everything in between, just because it's a good winter long pants, long sleeve pattern. But also, I made it in the shorts. Maybe I'll try it on for you so you can see the difference. Okay, so this is the short sleeve shorts version that I made. And I think it is in the extra small because it's a little bit tighter in the back and less loose right here. But it's still super comfortable and very like nice and cool for summer. So yeah, a total year-round pattern all in one. And you could probably make these into shorts too, really comfortable shorts. Yeah, maybe I'll do that next time. But I also love this top. I think I like the top in extra small better if it's short sleeves, just so that it's like a little more snug right here. And also for this part, I didn't put the clear elastic in this one, but it's holding up just fine because it's like stretching out just a little bit enough and not loose. You don't want it to be loose because then it'll fall. One of my favorite patterns ever. So definitely you should check it out if you're looking for joggers, a cute off the shoulder top, or if you're a beginner and you're just trying to learn how to sew with knits. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.